Alright, so good afternoon everyone and welcome to the channel. So today, in this hot 90+ degree weather, I'm going to be doing the mod that people have been ragging on me ever since, and I've been trying to explain away, and it's new headlight covers. Not doing the C7 Moshimoto or whatever headlights. They cost like 1,200 bucks. I know Jordan, you went ahead and did them. They look great on your car, but I'm not willing to spend that much money. So I'm gonna got 2 new lenses in. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of these lights first, and then I'll do these probably next month. But they are nowhere near as bad as mine. I know if you really can't tell. So the first thing I'm gonna do this in stages over the next couple of days, because I don't need the car for the next couple of days. And today's Wednesday, and I'll need the car Saturday. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna back the car out a little bit and just have the bumper, the front bumper, the front half of the car only taking up half the garage. And I'm gonna start working on the bumper right here in the middle. So my goal today is to get the bumper removed and the lights removed, and then I'll work on getting them separated in the oven. So let's go and back the car out. Okay, so I had to take it out a little bit farther than I thought because the side skirt was getting caught on my lip in my garage and was flexing the side skirt. So I didn't want to leave it like that prolonged. So I'm basically going to be following a tutorial of plenty of other people who've done this online, removing the bumper to get to the headlights. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, I think these are T15 screws. I'm going to loosen up 1, 2, 3, 4. Everyone else left the 5th one in. Do the same thing for the other side, and then I'm also going to loosen up all 4 of these, which I think are 9/32, and that's pretty much everything for the top. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff underneath. So let's go and take care of the top stuff first. Okay, so I got all the fender bolt Torx heads removed except for the last one, as well as all 4 that go right there. What one guy was doing in his video is he was going ahead and starting to pull up on this part. Yeah, there it is. Sorry, there it is. Just pops up. Go ahead and do this side. I'm going to pop this up. It's really easy. So underneath there's another Torx head that I have to get to. Where's it at? Right there. That I have to get to once I get the bumper off, so I can help separate this to get to the light. So that's kind of it for the top. So the next thing you want to do is kind of lower the hood and then start working the other stuff, because what you want to do is you don't want to start pulling this back until it's getting separated, because you don't want to get scratched up with this right here. So what I'm going to do next is lower the hood, and I'm going to jack up the car from the front and start working the stuff from the bottom. I do know that I'm going to have issues with my fog lights because they are connected when I try to pull the whole bumper off. But to be honest with you, I'm actually getting rid of the ducting for the fog lights. And I'm actually going to just put coolers back there because I'm having some other issues with these 2 coolers I got mounted to the grill. But that's going to be a separate video. Might go in conjunction or going on at the same time with this video. It depends on if the second cooler arrives on time. But anyway, let's go and jack the car up and start working on getting this bumper undone. Okay, so under here there's like several bolts I gotta remove. I think they were saying like there was like 13 or some ridiculously high number. Seems like my push pins right here already become disconnected from all the bumps I go over. But there is one right here. There's also, you know, these 3 right here, part of the air dam. I think there's also something underneath the back side as well. I just gotta find them. Oh yeah, here they are. These 3 right here. This one right here as well. So yeah, there's quite a few of them I gotta remove. So I just start pulling them all off, and so if I figure I don't get them all, then I'll point them out to you. But yeah, I gotta get all of these for the air dams, and then all of these for the bumper, and then it comes right off pretty easily. So let me go and do this real quick. Okay, as you can see, we got both the side air dams off. I don't think I need to take the center one off. Also got the what was the original air intakes for the brake ducts. Those are hanging down loose. See, here's my work here on the cooling ducts, and I don't think these are on that tight. Yeah, they're not on that tight, so they'll just slide right off. Actually, this one was already kind of off already. So yeah, they'll just slide right off when I pull the bumper off because they weren't on there tight. The hose clamps actually didn't clamp the way I wanted them to, so I'm not too concerned about them. So so yeah, the next thing is I'm gonna go back and check the other person's video just to make sure that everything is disconnected, which I really believe it is, and I think I just pulled forward. So I'm actually gonna try to pull forward right now and then see how things go. So let's go up here. And what they were doing here is they were also trying to separate this. Ow, that pinched me. Just separate this and pull on it. And I really can't do it with two hands, but basically I'm just trying to get this a lot more separated. So let me go ahead and get this separated, and I'll come back in if I did anything extra, but I just want to use two hands and not trying to force it and concentrate on it. So one of the things I forgot about is you got to push the lights out, the fender lights here, and there's another nut or bolt that's up in there that kind of attaches these two together that you have to remove. So I already got the left side off, the passenger side, so I just got to work on the driver's side. So I'm trying to show it to you guys. Right there, that's the little screw or bolt nut that you want to remove, probably more like a nut. So yeah, that's the one on each side. Okay, so bumper is still not off. Let me get my light. So I got this this part undone. There was two bolts up there instead of just two nuts on the stud instead of just one. So I got that undone. Then I found out when I came to pulling it up that you have these three right here. 1, 2, 3. There's also 3 more on the inside in here that you can't see, kind of blind, that are kind of like right here in the bumper. 1, 2, and 3. And I was able to get them. They're all 9/30 seconds. Just pretty much everything under here is 9/30 seconds. The last thing I still see holding it up is where's it at? Is these two right here. They're like push pins, if you can kind of see them. And that's the last thing I think is holding the bumper up. So let me try to get these undone and then get the bumper undone. Okay, so there was actually 4 up underneath in here. So the bumper's pretty much off. I don't know if you can tell. You can't really tell because I'm so close to it. But what the guy did in the video is he stuck his screwdriver with a towel in between here to help separate it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And the bumper should pop right off. So one of the things was there was like these 2 tabs that were holding the bumper still on. One here and one over there. So I popped those over so it should come off easily. So yeah, that was more annoying than I thought. But as you can see, bumper's completely off, and to get to the lights is pretty easy. There's just like 3 bolts holding them on. One thing I'm gonna do if my cooler comes in is get this modified to where the cooler sits right here. I know it's blurry, but basically in place of where the ducts are, to have 2 coolers mounted here, what other people are doing, move the coolers from right there, just blocking my radiator and hurting my cooling times, and stick them right here. But right now we're gonna go ahead and get the rest of these lights off, which are just held on by a couple of I think there's one, and I think it's only two, might be three. And yeah, let's go ahead and start doing that. Okay, so there's three 10mm nuts holding the light on. As you can see, it's pretty loose right now. Only thing left is to remove this last Torx bit that's on the fender, and it should come right out and do the plugs. Okay, so yeah, got both lights out. This was all the easy part. The hardest part is getting them separated. So I gotta go put them in the oven and use a heat gun and get to going on there. One of the things I guess I could still do tonight is remove all of these bolts and nuts that are on the back side of the light to help get it properly separated. So I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that real quick, and that'll kind of be it for today, and I'll work back on it tomorrow. Okay, so I'm out here working on the light. I've been having a lot of issues with these 3 studs nuts that come off these studs. So I end up just on this one, let me get my light, of course. On this one I end up just pulling it straight out, and the same thing with that one. And I'm gonna have to do the same thing for this over here, because basically what's happening is that center part just keeps spinning with the actual nut, and I've tried to hold it with some pliers and it's not really working out. So I'm just gonna yank it all out and figure out how to deal with it later. I was able to get one off successfully, always the front one on both of them, but the other ones just keep spinning and spinning. Let me see if I can show you. So yeah, if I grab it here, you can't really, you just got to take my word for it, because I really can't show you with my hands. So I'm just gonna pry them out and then keep going from there. Okay everyone, so I'm here in the kitchen and I've already done one light, putting the lens on. Yeah, I know you can see smudge prints from my fingers, but you can definitely see the difference between that and that. I didn't expect to get this one done so quickly. I accidentally had the oven on at 350 and it got cooked a little bit faster than I thought, and it's supposed to be at 215. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this other light here, put it in the oven at 215 for about 15 or 20 minutes, and at the same time I'm gonna go wrap up and try to start doing reassembly for this by cleaning off the old RTV that's on there and getting it just cleaned up, because I have more RTV coming in tomorrow, some black ones, because I only have red in the garage to put in there. Actually, it doesn't matter what color I use because you won't see it, but I'm gonna go and start cleaning that one up while that one's baking. When that one gets baking, I'm gonna put the lens on, or take the lens off, put that lens on, and I'll walk you guys kind of through how am I doing that. Enough of this ramble, let me go and get it going. Okay, so they've been in there about 15 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out. It should be good enough, I hope so. And what I'm gonna do is I'm basically just gonna start with a screwdriver, probably my second smallest, which is this one right here. And I'm just gonna start at the corner here and just start inserting it in between the gasket, and just start working my way around. Once you get halfway through, it kind of just makes it real easy to lift off. Be careful not to break too many of these tabs. I probably broke like half of them on the last one. So just unbuckle them as you go along so that you don't break too many. So let me get started while it's hot. Okay, so here we are at the second day. I've already done the driver's side light of putting the cover and gluing it down. So I'm just going to show you how I did it. So I'm just using red RTV silicone. What I do is I'm going to run it through a bead inside this existing groove from the old one, and just basically put the light in that and through this tabs. and then I'm going to clamp it down with these 2 clamps I have to make sure they stay secure and make sure it stays nice and, you know, compressed so that it can actually bond to itself. So let me go ahead and squeeze it on through here, then set everything up. Okay, so yeah, I got the RTV on there, got clamps at both ends, and I know it's going to work out fine, especially with the clips aiding keeping it together. Yeah, I know RTV's on the headlight lens, but I'm not concerned about that. I mean, it's going to get, I mean, I can easily clean that up once we get it done. And of course, once it gets finished, it'll look just like the other one. I'll get into installing these. So yeah, let's just move on to the next step. Okay, so we're putting the lights back together. As you can see, I put the black gasket on, and I reuse as much as these little, I don't know what you call them, but like push pins or something like that, retainer clips on there as best I can. And also, you know, here on the back side as well. So I still have these 3 holes that I, you know, right there, just jacked out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and retain them. I'm just gonna go ahead and put some silicone on these holes so water doesn't get into the light, and I'm just gonna call it a day. If I got problems down the road, I got problems, and I'll figure it out later. But yeah, I yanked them out and ruined everything. So this is gonna be the first light. I'm gonna go ahead and fill those with silicone. I'm gonna go ahead and put the light back on in reverse. So yeah. So I know the lighting's bad, but I wanted to go ahead and close this video out. And you know, the car's up on jack stands, but that's and the engine's out. So that's a different video coming up soon. But I want to give a quick comparison of the lights, and I can definitely tell the difference when I'm driving here at night. How much brighter they are, and you could just see things so much better. But so this is the new light cover lens, and here is what the old looked like. And you kind of overlay them on top of each other. You can just see how bad, you know, this other one was. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. This other lens was compared to the new one. Installation went pretty straightforward. Got to do the other vet when it comes in here. I got to order the light sets, but yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I use someone else's channel to kind of help me guide through it, so you can use mine, but they also went in a lot more detail than I did, and showing a lot more of the process of them separating it and undoing the bolts. But there's plenty of videos I had to do the lenses. But thank you for watching my segment, my way of doing it. If you haven't been to the channel before, please like, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.